Coming up on today's episode of The Angle Show, we're going to be talking about some WWE name changes, AEW teasing a wild card, and so much more. If you guys want more videos like this, make sure you click subscribe. Okay, so first things first, we got to talk about WWE releasing some backstage staff, personnel, and the reason for this. Now, obviously, we saw the WWE releases recently, and some of those releases included stars like Akam and Razar, Blair Davenport, and many others. Now WWE is making more cuts behind the scenes, and you might be wondering, why exactly is this happening? Well, obviously, guys, this is a very interesting time for WWE. WWE is doing a lot of great things and a lot of great announcements under the TKO umbrella. But really what has really happened here is that WWE is making way for a lot more. So when you have talent cuts, WWE is doing that because they are introducing more talent from NXT. When you're releasing people from behind the scenes, the reason for those cuts is purely profit reasons. WWE as a corporation under TKO now has to make room for this new boxing organization. And that's something that's not actually being talked about quite a bit. But when you have the professional bull riders, and now TKO has completely bought On Location, now they are starting a boxing promotion. A lot of staff in different areas are going to be cut because they're going to be looking for a more uniform approach where people are going to work amongst all of the companies under the TKO umbrella. So obviously Fightful had reported that there was some backstage cuts and obviously some personnel and some staff members. That is to be expected in a situation like this where you have this massive corporation who is now buying and obtaining and starting new promotions, new companies under the same umbrella. And it's also very interesting, as I've mentioned before, Nick Khan is actually working with Dana White on this new boxing promotion that is obviously being funded by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So now you have a situation where maybe Nick Khan might be away from WWE, or Nick Khan is very well involved with WWE, just like Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro, and many others. But the real question comes into play is who is going to be giving the love and nurturing care to the WWE product behind the scenes. And that's what becomes really interesting here, is because now that everything is under one umbrella and they keep adding more, I wonder if there's going to be more involvement from people that are necessarily, they're not part of WWE, but now they will be part of WWE because of the fact that there is these other businesses under the TKO umbrella. My own personal 2 cents on this, guys. It's a corporation. These things happen in corporations all the time. It's very unfortunate that people are losing their jobs. But at the same time, too, this is typically how it works, and it's very unfortunate. So hopefully these people are able to land on their feet, get jobs other places, that kind of thing. And then obviously we'll see kind of what happens there. But with that being said, it's time to get to our next topic, and that is the WWE name changes. If you guys don't know, WWE is undergoing name changes currently for 3 WWE superstars. And these aren't drastic name changes, but instead what it is that WWE is finally doing something a little bit different, and that is going away from past mistakes. Remember when Vince McMahon had Seth frickin' Rollins constantly being talked about, constantly being mentioned on WWE Raw? Those days are no longer. According to the WWE website, Bronson Reed is no longer Big Bronson Reed. Dirty Dominic Mysterio is no longer dirty, and Seth frickin' Rollins is no longer freaking. So that tells me WWE understands that those name changes are absolutely necessary. It also tells me that WWE doing these name changes understands that it was a mistake. Quite frankly, I understand that WWE is very big on trying to make sure that, you know, their names and wrestlers have like something attached to it, but it's not necessary. And quite frankly, I don't want to see that ever happen again. If you're going to give people a nickname, give them a nickname because it makes sense. Don't give them a nickname just because it makes them different. Yeah, Vince McMahon, I don't know why he thought that was such a great idea, especially Seth frickin' Rollins. It got annoying. You know, the thing is, if you're going to incorporate it once in a while, then I think that's fine. But the problem is when you're incorporating it, literally every promo, every comment made by commentary, every graphic, every event, it becomes tiresome. You know, Dirty Dominic Mysterio is fine because it wasn't really being used as Dirty Dom Mysterio. It was just Dirty Dom, right? A lot of people were just calling him Dirty Dom as a nickname. So that's one of the reasons why I think this is such an interesting topic. But I'm glad that WWE has made that choice to actually move away from that. I'm glad that WWE has found that in this particular scenario, that if you're going to utilize nicknames, it actually has to be empowering and it has to be something big. Calling Big Bronson Reed, it was stupid. We know he's big. We know that he's a monster, right? But if you have Braun Strowman, he has a nickname. He is the monster among men. But it's not like they call him that every single time on commentary. And that's the real difference. So WWE has actually undergone these name changes. It sounds like the company understands it was a mistake, and I'm glad they've realized that. And my final point that I want to make on this, because I think this is actually a big deal, and I do hope that WWE kind of changes their tone here. If you're going to give people name changes, whether they're coming from AEW to WWE, like Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints, whatever, if you're going to do name changes, just understand that simple is better. You know, don't forget, like the reason why people fall in love with UFC fighters is not because of their name. It's because of their persona, it's their characters and stuff like that. Conor McGregor could have been any other name, but Conor McGregor was a personality that people fell in love with. So if you look at combat sports, you know, it's not like people are calling them by their nicknames for the most part. They're calling them by their real names. And in professional wrestling, I would like to see them get back to the point where, hey, we might call you a nickname, we might give you a character name, but at the end of the day, the thing is, it's not about the name. It's really more about the character and the person portraying the character. And that brings us to our final topic of today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about it. Tony Khan is teasing a wild card in the International Championship Tournament, and this wild card will be going up against the Beast Mordos. And it seems like the AEW is very well preparing for a major debut, and it sounds like it could be Speedball Mike Bailey based on the vignettes that they've already aired on Speedball Mike Bailey. Now, you might be wondering, why would Speedball Mike Bailey debut against Beast Mordos? Well, he's going to absolutely go out there and kill it. I'm a huge Speedball Mike Bailey fan. I've talked about him for a long time. TNA, 2014, 2015 NXT rumors. Watching him go to TNA and doing great things under Scott D'Amore and Anthem was very wonderful. And obviously, I'm very happy to see that he's got a contract with AEW. I'm very excited to see that this guy is going to go out there and do great things because he is a very talented performer. Speedball Mike Bailey is one of my favorites. Like, honestly, what a genuine guy. For him to go out there and go up against Beast Mordos, they're going to have a great match. And I think for him to be the wild card, it makes a lot of sense. And for him to be in the International Championship picture also makes a lot of sense. I think Speedball Mike Bailey versus Kenny Omega at Dynasty would be the perfect way to bring him in. The only question is, how do you deal with him losing? Because as you guys know, I've said on my live stream, I fully expect Kenny Omega, Okada, title for title at All In. So obviously, if Speedball wins the whole tournament, he would probably lose at Dynasty. I don't know if that's necessarily the way I would bring him in, but I think it makes a lot of sense. I know some people are also speculating that Josh Alexander could be the wild card. That could also make a lot of sense too. But again, if Josh Alexander were to win the whole thing, it wouldn't be the right way to bring him in to lose at Dynasty. So, guys, that's the Angle Show. Trying a little bit something different. We're gonna, keep you guys updated. If you guys want more wrestling news videos, more wrestling opinions and rumors and stuff like that, make sure you guys click subscribe.